Our speaker today is a true survivor. Born in Romania in 1938, Konrad Wagner was taken from his home, transported by a train cattle car, forced to walk for 2 weeks in the snow to a Nazi labor camp when he was 3.5 years old. His story is perhaps unbelievable today, but it is true. It happened, and he's here to tell it. Later, Konrad served in the U.S. Army. He earned a degree from Indiana University in German and Russian language and literature, and he earned an MBA from the University of Cincinnati. He's been married for 48 years. Pray for Guy. And he's a father, a grandfather. He's very active in his community, substitute teaches. He has a number of hobbies. And he is here today through the generosity of the Center for Holocaust and Humanities Studies. And his mission, of course, is never again. Ladies and gentlemen, Konrad Wagner.
Thank you, Mr. Nicholson. It was such an eloquent introduction. I thought for a moment I'm in the wrong place. I didn't recognize myself till you mentioned my name several times. However, I'm very pleased to be here, and I thank you very much for inviting me. I see a lot of young people, and I see a few that are part of my generation. You are the last generation to see somebody that actually survived. I like to believe that you came for my presentation rather than the pizza. But I see there's a lot of pizza left, so maybe you're just as interested in what I have to say. But for the young people, before I share my story, I would like for you to know a few housekeeping rules. I am an old-fashioned substitute teacher. I retired from business. 2 weeks later, I realized that I can't afford to play golf every day. I got bored. I always like to work with young people. So I went into substitute teaching. That's like 13 years ago. Substitute teaching can be pretty tough. However, I have my own rules, and they're going to work today. I do not involve administration, your parents, or anything else. Everybody speaks sign language. I just take you outside. And I was very clumsy last year in the Yellowstone National Park. I fell, broke a bone in my hand. Therefore, I don't overwork my hand. There'll be 2 hits. I hit you, you hit the floor. Any questions? It's amazing how clear it is. Now, you had a lot to eat. Good appetites. If you decide to fall asleep, please fall gently. I don't want you to hurt yourself. And do not snore. Any questions? It's amazing. Teachers, isn't that wonderful? Oh boy. On a serious note, it was difficult for me to think or to express the way I feel about my experience. I like to think of myself as a child of a survivor, because at age of 3.5, I could not have done very much for myself. Without the selfless effort of my mother, I would not be here today. At the risk of her own life, as I will explain to you later, she saved mine. As a substitute teacher, I was working in one of the so-called prestige schools in the Cincinnati area that, for obvious reasons, shall remain nameless. That particular school has a lot of people that are community, even state and national leaders. One of the students remembered that I'm from Europe. So he asked me, Mr. W, with a name like Weiner, it gets mispronounced very, very frequently, and I got tired of beating them up. So they just called me Mr. W. You're from Europe, correct? I said, that's right. He said, did you meet Hitler? So after I sort of collected myself, I explained to him that Europe is a rather large continent, and besides, Hitler and I were traveled in different circles. So he asked me without hesitation, what did you do during the war? I told him I spent 4 years in a concentration camp. True story, I'm not making this up. Without batting an eye, he said, what were you concentrating on? What were you concentrating on? As a joke, it would have been sharp, but that kid had no clue. The rest of the class started to laugh just like you did, but he had absolutely no clue. But shortly after that, the senator asked me if I would be willing to share my experience, and I've been doing that for the past 4 years. What I share with you actually comes from 3 different sources. Obviously, 3.5, we don't remember much what we did. That would be asking too much. However, I was 7.5 when I got out, so I remember things when I was 7.5. Also, my mother, we were fortunate that she had her sister with her. It's like a survival group. And at one time, they all lived together in Cincinnati. They used to get together, talk about it, and tell me, never forget. As it became a little more comfortable, it's never easy, I did a lot of reading. And the internet is full of pertinent information. And especially now, it is very important to learn from the lessons of the Holocaust. The school will educate your mind, but I'm here to appeal to your heart. I want you to have no room in your heart for discrimination or for hatred or for anything painting all the people with the same brush. It's very dangerous. The more we know about the Holocaust, the more we change, the more we find ourselves that we transcend and we hopefully will pull free. Unfortunately, it's still going on today. It pains me to tell you that it's still going on today. It's no longer called the Holocaust, which comes from destroyed by fire from the Greek. It's called genocide, ethnic cleansing, and so forth. Just think what's going on around the world. And all that is because people stood by and permitted all these things to happen. Well, I will tell you, should provide you a basic analysis. English is another language for me. Of your feelings. And if you don't remember anything else of what I will share with you, please remember what I consider the most important thing, that if adversity does not kill you, it makes you stronger. I was born in a small part of Romania called Bukovina, and it's up in the northern part of Romania. We lived in very good relationship with our neighbors till Hitler came to power. And I will try to make a distinction between Nazis and Germans, because later on, as you will find out, it is quite a difference. As soon as Romania became allied with Hitler, persecution started. Now, the farther I get from Cincinnati, when I ask this question, and please don't be embarrassed, I don't know anybody. Does anyone here think they've never met a Jewish person? Please raise your hand. Don't be embarrassed. All right. It always happens. And you know why? Contrary to all the cartoons and the things that you hear about it, that we have horns and everything else, big noses because the air is free, we don't look much like anybody else. We don't look much like anybody else. Especially in my case, when I had hair, it was blonde, with blue eyes. And my name was Konrad Deutsch. Deutsch means German. Part of the country where I grew up was under the Austro-Hungarian Empire.